Hey, welcome everyone. It's 2 Minute Tuesday with Bala. This week we are going to look into Azure Functions. Let's get started. Azure Functions is fully managed compute service that allows you to run the code in response to an event or any other triggers. Let's look into the key benefits of Azure Functions. The first key benefit is no overhead costs. So you're not hosting it, it's just hosted by Azure, you're utilizing it. You focus on the business and then you focus on writing the code, and everything else is taken care by Azure. The second one is efficient scaling. How does it scale? Like where it doesn't even run when there is no need, and then you can scale all the way. It's unlimited, like as per the request, it's going to scale itself up. The third benefit is it is cost effective. So you're not continuously using or high-end systems here. So you can go with multiple plans. There are few plans that are like a pay as you go, as low as like when you actually use it, you pay. Otherwise, you're not paying anything for it. And then there are plans that are more dedicated that you could just pay and have like a dedicated app service plan that you could do. There are a few options that you can explore. The main support, there are like a few languages that are out of the box supported, and then it also supports a lot of templates. The Azure templates, which means there is like HTTP triggers, and there are certain functions that you could just quickly get started. You're not writing like creating something from scratch. Moving on to triggering, like how do we use this function? So the functions can be triggered by multiple different options. The most of the times it's event driven. So whenever there is an event happening, you can trigger a function with a URL. So most of the times I've used with the HTTP triggers. When there is something happening, I could trigger, pass some data, and then it can process it. The second one is more like a flexible binding. The Azure functions can be bound to other areas of Azure. For example, most of the scenarios you could call the function app and that could push some data to your service bus. The third one is very extensible, so you can extend it and use it for your custom purposes. There are a few versions. The runtime versions, there's like 1x, 2x, and 3x. The updated one is 3x. It's running on .NET Core. It's so much more efficient and faster. And the important thing you need to look into here is the timeout, how long a function app can run. But when the time reaches, it just kills itself and then it restarts. So going forward for the monitoring and debugging, you can monitor function apps. Out of the box, it gives your monitoring and debugging. So whenever your function app is executed and if there is any issues or is it executed, it failed or exceptions, everything could be tracked. Debugging your code is much easier, like in Visual Studio Code. The out of the box like free version, you could build function apps and then you can execute it with. I did talk about the deployments here, where you can do like CI/CD pipeline integrations. It's automatically scaling up and down when there is a need. In future videos, I'll go through the other areas where we could use function apps and in real case scenarios where we really used it. Hope this is helpful. I'll see you in next week.